A funeral preparation did Jesus? A funeral.
Anticipation maybe. Last year.
Before.
That was the job. Very broken. That was the job.
Yeah.
Jesus. So, Jesus didn't.
It was Isaiah, right? Chapter 53, verse 9.
No, I meant practical preparation.
Jesus didn't do anything.
Right. Yeah. Jesus didn't do anything. You know, when I study Bible, Jesus always see the future and he prepared, but his burial, he didn't do anything. He just dead body, that's it.
Jesus actually prepared his disciples to meet somewhere.
Right.
But he didn't prepare his
He just last minute, he really tried to help disciples faith. But for his own funeral, he did nothing. I mean, look at dead Jesus. Only he was stripped, and then he had not $1 with him. When my father-in-law passed away, he didn't prepare anything for his funeral, so each family members, put the money together and cover the funeral expenses. When my mother-in-law passed away, she prepared everything for her own funeral, and so she had some funeral insurance. She bought, and she bought her own lot, cemetery lot. Everything she prepared, so it didn't require any, family money. Some people prepare, some people don't prepare at all. But Jesus, when he died on the cross, he had nothing. Only maybe small underwear he was wearing. That's the only possession he had in this world. Let's go to question 2.
How much does it cost nowadays to pay for funeral? Like around $10,000.
That's right.
Really?
Yeah, because my parents was buried. Just like the number was close to 10,000.
10,000.
Okay. How much is the lot?
Around 3,000. 2,000.
I have no idea.
So you are like Jesus.
Kind of opposite. I don't think about my death.
Lot? We live in Houston, so let's go by Houston value, right? 10 years ago, it was $3,000.
Wow.
10 years ago. So I put $5,000.
I think more than 5,000. 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Okay, how about the funeral
Service cost?
Funeral home.
Around 1,500, 2,000.
So this is the funeral home. You have a choice. You have a choice. Casket, all different price. And then
There's a cremation also.
this is a land burial in the land. Cremation is different story. I have not checked. But they have all the services included. Modest, cheapest one will be maybe $12,000.
13,000.
Wow.
So, you can check because flour is 10 years ago, over one flour bundle, over $100. And then, the book, the visitor's sign, that's several $100. If a funeral master moves this room to that room, it's chargeable. And then limousine service, and they arrange the police, escort, and all this. You can the unnecessary things you can remove. And then if you have the view, or you can have the worship service over there, it's all included. So and then the lunch for the guest is also different price. Lunch guest, how much is going to be? Guest lunch. And maybe 3,000. So the most just barely cover it, you need $20,000.
Actually, I want to say 30,000, but I guess I heard around $30,000.
Yeah, this is very modest.
But when I heard the 30,000, that doesn't make sense. That's what
I heard like wedding cost and then funeral cost is as much as same.
Yeah.
This.
Wow.
And then you still have to file your tax. In America, even though you're dead, you still have to file tax. The estate, you have to file tax.
Property tax.
Whatever the income tax, you have to file it even though you die. Your family has to
Income
file
tax we receive, but property tax we
Right.
pay.
Okay, so roughly in $20,000 is a funeral. That much.
Wow, that's a lot.
Are you willing to pay for it for a poor teacher if you have money in your bank account? Okay, let's go. You have money in your bank account, $20,000. Your teacher passed away, and then the teacher has no funeral preparation. And you see your teacher, are you willing to pay this cost? Okay, let's go. Brother Roman, are you willing to pay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Judy, are you willing to pay the funeral cost if you have money?
Yes.
Okay. Sister Rebecca?
If I loved him so much,
Uh-huh.
why not?
Okay. Sister, brother, Shepherd Johnny.
If I have a really good paying solid job, I don't think about probably a bank account. But if I don't have a job, I think I probably spend hard time.
You said that if you have money.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't say I have a job.
You change the condition.
Okay. Question 3, let's go.
Who should have taken care of the burial of the dead body of Jesus? Jesus' family
Disciples.
and disciples. The first charge is his family, Jesus' family.
At that time, it seems like Joseph died, the father, because by that time, Joseph's name is not mentioned. And then Mary, Jesus put Mary and the apostle, disciple John's care. So,
His brothers.
yeah. But now this funeral is in Jerusalem. It's not their hometown.
So it's a disciple.
Disciples, I don't know where they are.
Ran away.
they are so disheartened, so shocked. They are in shock, and no right answer.
God.
It's not family. It's not disciple of Jesus who should take care of the burial. Okay, let's move question 4.
Without God's intervention, what would the burial of Jesus have been like?
Maybe there's no place to be buried, so just stay in one of the belly of a mountain and throw into there, and then the wild animal come.
Probably very close. When the criminals executed by the Romans, the body belonged to Roman government. The body doesn't belong to family or disciple. So Roman government will take care of the body. They will bury. Probably they will throw into a ditch or into a massive grave. So Jesus' body was about to, I saw the Jewish buried in the tomb, but at that time, Romans, the Greeks, burned, cremated. And I didn't look into how the Romans, buried the criminals, but I don't think they give any decent burial. So Jesus' body was in a situation that it may go to thrown into just ditch or into a massive grave or cremated, whatever they did at that time. But God intervened. Question 5.
What kind of man was Joseph Arimathea? 43. Respected member of the council. And he was a respected member of the council.
Yeah.
And from John 19:38. Disciple of Jesus, but he was secretly a disciple of Jesus.
Right.
And he asked for permission to have Jesus' body.
Mm-hmm. So Joseph of Arimathea was Sanhedrin, Congress senator, Sanhedrin member. And then he was a secret disciple of Jesus. Why did he believe in Jesus secretly?
Sanhedrin members hated Jesus, and then they were against it. So he couldn't have anything.
Yeah. Because the Sanhedrin consists of high priest family, scribes, elders. They all hated Jesus, trying to kill Jesus. So he couldn't reveal himself, but he believed in secretly.
What I find amazing is that the Holy Spirit helped him to be secret. Because obviously they always I would imagine a big group like that will always watch their own members.
Right. Uh-huh.
So if you don't bow or say something the way that they want it, then they could be discovered that way.
Right. So he knew in his heart Jesus is the Christ, and all Jesus' teachings were right. So he believed, but he had to keep it secret. Question 6.
What action did he take? He went to Pilate and asked Jesus' body.
Mm-hmm.
Why was his action bold? Because now he cannot hide his true identity as a believer of Jesus Christ as a savior. He need to expose himself. He is actually following Jesus, and then even all the disciples ran away, but he kind of strong, firm and strong, and then even he overcame all the fear and what people look at him, all the Sanhedrin, how they consider him.
Mm-hmm.
He just ignored all like people's like bias or prejudice point of view, and he take action.
Yeah. The Gospel Mark says he went boldly to Pilate, asked for Jesus' body.
Also, you said Jesus' body now is belong to Roman government.
That's right.
So it's like asking the criminal's body
Mm-hmm.
is not right or
Right.
it's not.
He's challenging to Roman government.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's Sanhedrin itself. They charged him. They convicted Jesus as
Yeah. Now, Joseph Arimathea put himself in the edge. He put himself in a very dangerous situation.
He could lose his actually position of
I think in Bible afterwards, we don't know what had happened to him, but I think the Jewish people really did something to him. So he really now exposing himself in danger. He could be in the future rejected, hated by all the Sanhedrin members, religious people. And then Pilate possibly can reject. No, this is Roman government business. So that's why it is a very bold action. Jesus already died. He can gain nothing from Jesus. But he put himself in danger to bury Jesus. Because, only because he deeply loved Jesus. It is an action of love. Okay. Question 7.
Why was Pilate surprised to hear that Jesus was already dead? Maybe Pilate was thinking that Jesus is different from others, so maybe Jesus would never die.
that could be.
Okay. So, Joseph Arimathea went to Pilate. So, can I have the body of Jesus? He died. Pilate, what? He already died? Why he was surprised? So soon? Because usually through crucifixion, the criminals die. It takes 1 or 2 days. Jesus took only 6 hours. So some even it goes to 3 days, third day. So Pilate didn't think Jesus already died. Jesus had the punishment of sins of the whole world. Question 8.
What did Pilate do to verify the death of Jesus? Pilate, summoning the centurion, he asked him if Jesus had already died.
Yeah. So he sent maybe one of his soldiers. Okay, go to the Golgotha and then ask the centurion, come to me. So maybe one of the soldiers went from the Pilate palace to Golgotha. Centurion, Pilate wants you. And so centurion came to Pilate. Is it true that Jesus, the King of the Jews, was already dead? I think it's the same centurion we studied last time, who confessed that he is truly the Son of God. Same centurion. He reported he was indeed dead. Question 9.
Why did Pilate give the permission to Joseph in violation of Roman law? Possibly because Pilate did not really care anymore at the point.
It's because he knew Jesus was innocent. And there's no charge, but he died on the cross.
Yeah. This is all we guess why Pilate gave the body to. And then this is what I read, all different books. One is Pilate knew, as Shepherd Johnny mentioned, Pilate knew Jesus was innocent and he handed over him to death. So maybe he
Guilty.
and then do some favor, giving his body. Another thing is he little bit suffered in his heart, but he wanna get rid of, he was glad to get over it. So okay, take the body and then finish this one.
Quickly.
Yeah, quickly. Another theory is Joseph's position. If that insignificant somebody go and then ask the body, no. But Joseph's position, he was a very prominent politician. And so maybe that influenced, prominent. If Peter went with the swollen, crying eyes, Peter went and asked, we don't know whether Pilate would have given him. But Joseph Arimathea was very prominent, noble, influential, well-known, rich. So maybe it worked. The most important thing is God was behind this action. When God opens, nobody can close. God closes, nobody can open. Regardless, God is behind this action, and God made that move also. God was moving Joseph Arimathea's heart. God was moving Pilate's heart. So that Jesus' body may not go into the massive grave, but Jesus' body maybe released. This is a very 5 verses, very short, but God is working so powerfully behind this. Question 10.
When Pilate gave the permission, how much time did Joseph have for the burial? Probably 2.5 hours.
So Jesus passed away at 3 p.m. Then Joseph want to bury Jesus. So that he walked to Pilate. He asked Pilate. Pilate sent somebody to bring centurion. And then centurion got the message. Centurion walked to the palace, Pilate. And then Pilate gave permission. And how long do you think that would take?
Roughly 2 hours, I think. They go and back.
Yeah, go and back. Let's make it not just roughly about 1 hour. And then sunset, usually Sabbath starts 6 p.m. So how much time he had?
2 hours. 2 hours.
By sunset, he had to arrive home.
1 hour.
Maybe 1 hour or 1 hour, 30 minutes. P, what burial supplies did he buy?
Linen, spices.
Yeah, myrrh and linen. Linen for burial at that time, 3 kinds. It's linen to wrap the body. And then they also have strips of linen. To tie hands and feet. Tie. And then, what do they call? Handkerchief or something to wrap the linen, to wrap face, head. So have 3 different kinds. I couldn't find out how they wrap the body. I think it's the body's here. And then I think they wrap like this way. And then inside they put myrrh or aloe or spices, like that. And the head they wrap separately. Right. Then they tie, maybe the inside they tie hand and feet. Have you ever heard what is Shroud of Turin? Shroud Roman?
Mm-hmm.
That should be wrapping this way. So I don't believe it belongs to Jesus. That linen cover like this way. Like this way.
Or clothes, huh?
Yeah, cover this way. But wrap is this way. So they said it is the linen that wrapped Jesus, but it has to wrap long way. So I don't believe it belongs to Jesus. So Joseph bought those linens. See, how did he prepare and bury the body of Jesus?
How did he prepare? He prepared actually for his own tomb burial place. It was a rock, big rock. He carved in and then make the space inside. I don't know if it's only for him or for whole family, but I think so. It was kind of quite big space. It's for him and for kingdom of heaven. He was hoping.
Yeah. So we discussed that in E. So C. So with the linen, he went to the Golgotha and he had to lower Jesus' body from the cross. The Lord bring the cross down, and then he had to remove the nails from hand and feet. And then they usually wash the body. Wash it with the oil, then with the water. Since Jesus has so much blood stains and sweat and all this, so may require a lot of washing. But I think he didn't have enough time, so he washed the body of Jesus clean, and then he wrapped. So I think it's all he did under the cross. Some crucified bodies, they couldn't remove the nail, so they just bury as it is with the nail together, and they excavated with the boot and nail sticking together because it's just hard to remove it. Those nails are really deep into the wood, and it's not easy to pull.
Right.
Like our nail. Our nail is small like this, but still we have to have a hammer to remove it. But those nails are so big. And then D.
Who joined the burial? There was Mary Magdalene and Joseph, the mother of Joseph, Mary.
Let's read John chapter 19, verse 39.
He was accompanied by Nicodemus, a man who earlier had visited Jesus at night. Nicodemus brought a mixture of myrrh and aloes, about 75 pounds.
Yeah. Nicodemus joined. Nicodemus also Sanhedrin member. And so Jesus had two secret disciples in Sanhedrin. Nicodemus brought huge amount of myrrh and aloe. I don't know, we calculated the funeral cost, but this amount of aloe and myrrh is very, very, very expensive.
75 pounds.
The aloe, I don't know, but myrrh is imported. Why they need so much myrrh and aloe? It's their custom to put those in the body. Do we need so much aloe?
It's like Jesus' body was like a tunnel.
Covered. Maybe Jesus' body is fully covered. And later on you see the Mary Magdalene and another Mary, they prepare the spices too. So why it is, tomb is usually, it is a floor, okay, this is a floor. And then I cannot have the three-dimensional picture. Okay, this is a floor, and then this is the entrance, and there is a wall, right? Wall. And then here is like a shelf here. And then depend on the size of the tomb, they have a pit, they call pit, or just the shallow. The ground was dug shallow. And so they put the body in here, for 1 year. So after 1 year, they come back. Then by the time after 1 year, all the bone and the flesh is all rotten, and the only bone remains. And then they pick up the bone and then put a little stone box. They put in the box here, and then put in the shelf here, in the shelf here. So a lot of these stone boxes can be stored in the shelf. So in here, you see, if one body laid here, two body, the inside is so full of a rotten smell. So they put myrrh and spices in the body. And so in one tomb, Abraham was buried, Sarah was buried, Isaac was buried, Rebecca buried, Jacob was buried, Leah was buried. Because this is a temporary for 1 year. And then they just pick up the bone and put in the box and keep in the shelf. So they need a lot of spices, myrrh, here. So they were, everybody, when somebody died, and everybody preparing the myrrh and spices.
What kinds of tomb was it? It was clean and then new.
New tomb, and it was cut out of rock. And then this rock is soft. That's very soft and easily can break it. They can dig it up easily. A rock in here around us, where Texas, I don't see rock here, but rock we say is very, very hard, but it's not that kind of rock. It's very soft and then easily can get cut. Now, the family who owns the tomb are rich. Not everybody owns their own tomb, because they have to own the land, and in that land there is rock, and then they dig it up and make the family tomb. So the poor people, they go to the public cemetery. This is rich people. So Jesus was buried like a rich. Do you remember Isaiah chapter 53 we memorized? He was assigned the grave with the wicked and with the rich. When I memorized that, I understood what it means. He was assigned the grave with the wicked. But why with the rich? I didn't understand, but I understood now, because he was like buried as a very rich person. because it's a new tomb. Only rich people can afford. Question 11.
He followed and saw the tomb where Jesus was laid. Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Joseph.
Yeah. They followed and then they stood away. They watched and make sure, oh, that's the place they buried Jesus. Question 12. I want everybody answer.
How did God use the wealth, success, and influence of Joseph for the burial of Jesus? Actually, first God allowed Jesus' body to Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
So this Joseph's the prominent good position is used, and then also
It's not always disciples. At this time, Joseph Arimathea was the right person. He had wealth, success, influence, power to take care of this burial of Jesus. God gave Joseph faith to overcome his fear. Before, because of fear, he was secretly believed, but God gave him bold faith. And God gave him faith to use his power and wealth to bury Jesus' body. This is successful people like Joseph. God can use. Some missionary doctors, they are praying to build the medical school in North Korea, and they are praying $7 million money. Yes, God is using their success, wealth, their influence. Let's read Esther chapter 4, verse 14.
Esther chapter
4, verse 14. Can you read? We have found it.
For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, for you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to a royal position for such a time as this.
Yeah. So Esther became queen. And then his uncle said, your position, your influence, your success, you must use it to save God's people. And Esther was hesitant, but Mordecai really teach the meaning of her success. It's not just for you. You think God made you queen just for your own pleasure? No. You have to use it. Your position, your success, you have to use it. This is the same. Joseph of Arimathea, he used his wealth and success to bury Jesus. Here, anybody rich and successful?
Depends on what you mean by successful. And it also depends on what you mean by rich.
Like really rich.
I mean, they had the money just in maybe 1 hour, 30 minutes in time. They bought everything. They prepared everything. So God used Joseph of Arimathea really preciously. Question 13.
Well, why was the burial of Jesus important in the gospel? Burial is the fact of Jesus' death.
Right. It is. We don't bury people who is alive, right? We bury only who are dead. We only bury dead body. So it gives the sure evidence that Jesus died. When we see, Jesus' body is supposed to go, taken care of, buried by the Romans, but God brought Jesus' body using Joseph of Arimathea and buried in a new tomb. God think burial of Jesus very important. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, that Christ died for our sins according to the scriptures. He was buried, he was raised on the third day according to the scriptures. So Christ will be buried is prophesied, predicted. That is, I didn't know any other verse, but Isaiah chapter 53 verse 9. He was assigned a grave with the wicked and the rich. So Jesus has to be buried. Messiah has to be buried. Fulfillment of a prophecy also, it is so important that Jesus had to be buried because his death was complete. And then Jesus had overcome by death for 3 days. And it is pathway to resurrection. Okay. Today's Bible study is up to here, and we will share and discuss